Okay, another short film at the Broadcast Engineering Museum in Hemswell Cliff. Look at this sign for radio varieties. Isn't that wonderful? That's on the wall. These are two record players, or mixers, record mixers, both with twin turntables. And this is a record cutting machine. Before we had a magnetic recording tape, everything had to be recorded on one of those. You can see the cutting lathe and the playback needle there. Fantastic. Just swing the camera around. Oh yes, got to have this of course. One of those famous BBC microphones of the 1930s. Completely iconic, always featured in books, magazines, television programs, films, etc. Absolutely superb. Old cartridge machine there. Very nice reel-to-reel tape recorders. And if you can see down there, these great BBC radio on the air signs. Wonder where they came from. Don't know which station. I've noticed a lot of things in here came from BBC Radio Norfolk though, so you never know. There's a TV AM camera. And Roland Rat. Great stuff. Okay. This is a radio mixing desk console for broadcasting or program production, one of the two, or maybe both. Anyway, back to the television cameras, etc. There's Roland on the screen. That is a recreation of a BBC News desk. That's what you see on the monitor with somebody sitting there, of course. There's the camera pointing at it. This is one of those colour flesh tone test pictures, sometimes known as China Girls. Her name's Lynn, apparently, and she does not want to be associated with the fame that this picture's brought, but no matter. It's a great picture. A lineup of fantastic early television cameras here. 70s BBC colour camera there, of course, made by EMI. The cameras you can see here were all owned by Granada Television and all were used in the making of Coronation Street. That one, number 3 there, being about the oldest. That one being fairly modern. If we go over here, these are cameras, they're not television cameras as such, they're ones used in making of things like corporate films and public information films, that sort of thing. So yeah, very interesting to see still. They've also got some early television sets and video equipment, domestic video equipment that is. Look at these. I remember seeing one of those at school, a very, very early video, an N1500 in fact. This GEC television from the early 50s has tambour doors and its own legs. Isn't that wonderful? And if I swing around here, this is an ITT KB. It's a dual standard television set from the mid-1960s. Dual standard sets were made about 1964-65 when BBC Two came in, and they were being used for the old 405 line signals and the new 65 line signals. So yeah, that would date from about 1964-65. There are not many left now. This is a very early Echo set from the 1950s, very handsome. There is a very early Ferguson Video Star, isn't that wonderful? Just down on the floor here, I guess it's for a very small cameraman, is a early Pi TV camera. A Link Electronics camera there from the 1970s. This EMI camera from the 50s is just lovely to look at. In those days, they had to have several lenses attached to a single camera because they couldn't zoom. They didn't have zoom lenses. This one here is another link camera, and it came from Limehouse Studios. And if I swing around here to this information board, this is the actual camera that was used to film Queen's I Want to Break Free video. How wonderful is that? It dates from the 1980s, of course. Another early Marconi camera here with some absolutely enormous lenses. You probably see space from there. Probably see into outer space. A late 60s or very early 70s B.E.C.G camera there. With a massive Schneider lens, you can see that. A very early Marconi colour camera here, if you look at the information board. That dates from about 1970. And we'll finish here with this 1970s TV camera. A Marconi colour TV camera dating from the early 60s. Sorry, early 70s, my apologies. And if I look at the sticker on the front here, at least part of it was used to film World Cup '74. So that's the camera room. Thank you for watching.